What's up YouTube, it's Louis here bringing you today's cryptocurrency video on Bitcoin. So we had this falling wedge that we've been talking about for a long time now, and yesterday we in the last few days we broke out of it, but we had technical targets to the downside, which we met with the M pattern over here on the 0618. We were expecting this to hold, but yesterday's video I said that once you lose it's going to roll over to that 786, and as long as we get a daily candle close above this pink line, we're good basically. We haven't fallen back into the pattern yet, so can't really tell with this. It's like with the edge of the body, it's like on the line, but you can see here sort of under. But today's candle, because it opens next to it, it's sort of like outside, so it's all on today's candle really, because I can't really tell. But yeah, I'd say it's closed under, to be honest. Can you see that if I hover on the pink line? Yeah, it's closed under. So what we need to see now is this to close outside again, and for us to have a daily candle close back outside. Because for me, because you can literally tell, I couldn't figure it out myself. So for me, it's not convincing break back in. So it's unconvincing for me. So I'm not too keen on it for me to say, yes, it's a definite breakdown. We've broken back into it. It's kind of like up there for judgment. So for me, that means that it's not certain, it's not convincing enough. So it's, for me, I'm going to take a look at today's daily candle close. If we were to close right here right now, of course I'd want to get above the 618. That might not come today, might dump more, but you've broken out of this downtrending line. So we'll go to the 4-hour time frame, and I spoke about this briefly yesterday, how we have some sort of like a falling wedge over here as well. You can see we're tapping here very nicely at multiple rejection points over here. So yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You come all the way to the apex. Can you see that with a spinning top? Some may say it's a doji, but I'd like to call it spinning top, because there's bigger wicks to the downside than there is to the upside. So with this, you got back above the 786. We need to see this hold of support. What we want to see next is for us to get above that 618, that ascending triangle support, which is right now being tested as resistance with that wick you can see. And actually before this 4-hour pump up, we were below the 786, so this was creating that reversal wave basically down to the 1, but we never got down to the 1. So if we were to lose the 786 again, if we fail to hold the 786, higher chance we come back to the 1. So keep that in mind, guys. And of course, if we lose that 1, as I said yesterday, we got these targets down here: 44, 43 and 41, 42k basically. But of course, we've broken out of this falling wedge. So on the small time frames, like the 1 hour basically, it's bullish on the 1 hour for that fact, but we need to watch it carefully, because of course you can get rejected from these EMAs on the 1 hour time frame, like the 20. We could roll over again now. I'm going to check for bullish divergences, because yesterday we did have some over here, down here, and we pumped up a little bit and we started coming back down. So we got one low, lower low, lower low, but on the chart this low is not lower than the previous. So on the chart, lower lows, on the RSI, higher lows. So this means that some bullish divergence needs to start playing out basically. Is it just this pump here for continuation down, or are we going to get a much larger pump? Keep that in mind, guys, that 1 hour bullish divergence that's screaming at us basically. So we're going to take a look back at the 4H time frame. Basically, since you formed this bearish cross, what you need to see is a back test of support, and we've never got that back test of support. Even before the bearish cross, you just broke under and never back tested it. So this basically means that the EMAs are very overextended. We need to come for a retest, and I think by the time this comes down and this comes up, it's going to roughly be at the 618. So this is the very key level, because again, as I said yesterday, if you come to the 786, then come back to the 618 and get rejected, it's like confirmation that 1 is your minimal target. And hopefully we could double bottom at the 1. You can see 1 bottom, neckline, 2 bottom down here. But of course, if we were to lose that, we've gone through the theory where I've explained for months now that it would make sense to fill in this wick basically, because in the past it has done. And just like yesterday, over here you basically filled in this wick. This was a very nice bullish scenario yesterday. It broke back into the ascending triangle on the 4-hour time frame with a bullish hammer. But this just shows you guys that there's manipulation. There's more to just TA right now. There's manipulation in this market. So that's why the whales basically push price up, loads of people putting long positions, and then everyone's just getting liquidated, basically filling in that wick. Market manipulation 101. So right now you're bouncing off support, you're falling out a falling wedge as well, and you also backtest the larger falling wedge as support. So we just need to see this pink line continuing basically to hold. Basically, we need to see it continue to hold. So if it can continue to hold, even if you roll over again, maybe form some double bottom down here, but as long as it's holding, we should get a pump back up to the 20 minimal. But it's all about getting rejected or getting above this. So if you were to get rejected, the 1 basically. So I'm going to get out some more fibs, but technically speaking now, because you potentially have back tested the outside of the larger falling wedge, you basically are in a technical target to 69k, and out of breaking out of the smalling wedge, we need to still back test it as support. So that's why we could roll over again to both pink lines, purple lines, and so that technical target would be around 52k, which is the top of this larger ascending triangle. You can see now that in yesterday's video I changed the ascending triangle. I think before it was somewhere like this. I don't really remember, but now I've changed it. So we're going through 1, 2. We had multiple taps here and then fell over, respected it as resistance right there. So this is what we need to watch out for, because I need to give you a technical target for that. So with an ascending triangle, you always want to measure from the first tap of resistance back to support. So I'm not measuring from down here, so it'd be something like this. You put this on the breakout. Let's get that exact. So your technical target is actually down here, almost at this 2.272. So this is one fib I'm looking at where I've measured from this to the top of this pump over here. But I need to look at this fib retracement from the wick down here to the top. So I'm just going to get rid of this, I'm just going to leave it there, but ignore it for a second. So swing low all the way to the high over here. Not here, this is your highest point over here. Drag that across. I'm just going to get rid of the other fibs for now, I'm just going to hide them. Hide. Yeah, okay, perfect. So you can see now that we've actually retraced to the 050 and lost it, and the only thing that held you up was basically that larger falling wedge resistance point that we broke out of and back testing it as support. So that's the only reason we didn't go to the 618, was because of that coming to this little falling wedge apex as well as falling back to the larger falling wedge support. So this is very significant because it's basically telling us that there is some sort of support in this area, because what should have happened when you lost the 050 at 46.7k is you should have actually, technically speaking, rolled over, especially if there was nothing here to support you basically. So what this is telling me is that there is support. So this is confirmation that this falling wedge is correct, and potentially that this falling wedge is correct, because when you come into the apex, because if we've even ignored this, I didn't have this lower line in the chart, so I did show you briefly, but I showed you the chart without it, and you can see you had a resistance point and a support point, and you came all the way to the apex with wicks on either side showing you that there's support and there's resistance, and it chose to break to the upside. So this is positive first steps basically. So it's basically telling us that this falling wedge is accurate and this larger one's support slash resistance slash support is accurate, because if there was nothing there, you would have continued to the 0618 at 45,500, and that's basically our low basically of this pullback. So that's what we want to see hold. Of course, if you lose that and hit your head on resistance, you start to create the chance of a reversal wave where you could come to the 786 and potentially get back above, holding that 0618 and continuing up. But if you were to come up again, get rejected, then we're coming to the 1 minimal, so that'll be filling in the wick basically. So remember, out of this ascending triangle, the breakout to the upside is about 61,000, but equally to the downside it's almost at the 1414. So your technical target right now, because we have fallen out of it, is the 1414, or just a bit above it, maybe a wick down to there, 38,700. Now just because it's a technical target, of course it does mean, because it's a technical target, it should meet it, but trading is all about invalidation. So if we can invalidate this technical target, it won't be met. So how do we do that? We now need to see the bounce come all the way back above this 382, confirm that support, and we can start heading up. So I'm going to get those other fibs back on now so we can see. Yeah, so perfect. So we've got the two fibs, so we've lost the 786 and the 050, got back above it, confirm, well, we need to confirm our support now, and if we can get above the 0618 and the larger 382, this is where we can start getting a bit relieved, not excited, but a bit relieved, because you'd be coming back inside of the ascending triangle, invalidating further downside. If you then come up like this and get rejected here, there's a higher likelihood that we do come to these technical targets. Your first minimal target would be the 1618, and then of course technical target here at the larger 1414. So those two are the levels I'd be looking out for Bitcoin. But honestly speaking, guys, I don't think we're going to come to this target. But that's just me saying that, you know what I mean? I just have that feeling that we won't. I think that the market's just full of manipulation. We can, remember, come to the 0618 here, which is further down, and still try and get back above this. It's all about this ascending triangle. Maybe we're forming this double bottom that I've been speaking about just over here. One bottom, neckline, two. So hopefully get back in, break this neckline, head up on higher to 61k basically. So that's Bitcoin for me today. We've given you technical targets to the upside, break this, we're going up. We've given you technical targets to the downside, break this low, we're going down, or get up here, get rejected, we're going down. Minimal here, but technical target down here at the 1414. But I don't think this is going to be met. I don't think so. But just because I don't think so, you can't take that as financial advice, guys. So this is just all for educational purposes only, and I hope you guys enjoyed this video. We must now break above this ascending triangle support, confirm that as support, and we are good for continuation. That would be some sort of inverse head and shoulders. And let's remind you guys, we have bullish divergence on the 1 hour, so this means that we should see a little pump, whether that's already played out over here and we now start dumping again, putting in a lower low, but backtesting the support, maybe putting in a lower low again like that. But maybe on the 1 hour or the 4 hour RSI we still get bullish divergence, and that's what I'd like to see. Maybe a little double bottom here, get back above, maybe an inverse head and shoulders here to send us up basically. Put down the breakout, something like that. And then of course we start heading back up, breaking the EMAs, breaking the M patterns neckline, invalidating further downside. Because once you make a bearish pattern, you meet its target, you form a new pattern that could be bearish or bullish, and we're trying to do that right now with this potential inverse head and shoulders. So let's see that. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. I'll catch you guys in the next one, and as always, peace.